Hi, my name is Ava Clark Paglinawan, and this is my Home and School Connections interview for culturally responsive teaching. Cultural influences on teaching and learning include the students' beliefs, their learning styles, and social emotional development. Different cultures have different beliefs and values. Cultural norms can be a huge influence towards how they learn that impact how they express themselves, interact with others, and deal with their emotions. Cultural competence is how us educators respond or react to different cultural backgrounds of our students. This has a huge role in instruction because this is part of the foundation of building that respect and rapport, differentiating instruction, and creating an inclusive classroom environment. To properly integrate EL's cultural values and beliefs, this starts with creating that safe and inclusive classroom environment. It can be as easy as celebrating different cultures and their traditions on the holidays. We can also encourage diversity with representing different cultures inside the classroom setting, having our students collaborate with their peers, and recognizing that our students have different backgrounds, but this isn't necessarily a bad thing. Culture affects student learning with their interactions and collaboration. Different cultures communicate and collaborate different in learning. Some cultures do a lot of group work and collaboration, when others actually frown upon this and prefer individual learning. Taking this into account, classroom environments are important for building that language acquisition. In order to foster this social interaction as the teacher, we should encourage our students to practice their languages with group work, communicating with their peers, and just real life situations. Connecting the student's background to this content is a great way to increase motivation and allow students to feel that their identities are part of their learning. In order to ensure that I am supporting and celebrating the cultural diversity of my students, I can do this by getting to know my students, keeping consistent with the communication, acknowledging and making sure I respect every single student, practicing cultural sensitivity, and incorporating diversity with every lesson, showing our students flexibility and that we care. This is supported by Drexel University. It is important to get to know your students because if the students feel appreciated and comforted with the teacher, there's a better chance they'll be comfortable taking with and respecting their peers in the class, also supported by Drexel University. Being consistent with communication helps the classroom culture and ensures that everyone is on the same page. Celebrating each student's differences through encouraging their backgrounds and in a respectful manner, this helps ensure that it supports the cultural diversity. To leverage home language and cultural aspects, the students can feel that their learning is connected to their own backgrounds using these multilingual resources. This can be seen through the students' backgrounds incorporated with lessons, peer learning, and encouraging the students to use their home languages rather than just discouraging them. To support the needs of ELs in the classroom. Strategies for responsiveness to different learners and their needs can be differentiating learning, tailoring instruction to what they need, using cooperative learning or peer support, applying technological resources, and encouraging the students of independence on their own learning. To meet the social and emotional needs, some opportunities and approaches that I can provide as the educator are SEL programs that are culturally responsive. I can promote empathy in my classroom. I can check in with my students and just build that relationship. It is important to understand the social, emotional, and cultural needs of the students when establishing these classroom routines and there's procedures to create that comfortable environment and build relationships, and also just create routine in the classroom. Emotional safety can help with the students feeling more comfortable, and it can also help with their participation in their learning and not being afraid of failure. Aside from the culture needs, it also is important that we meet the emotion needs because each student has different emotional responses. Building relationships with social emotional learning is important with routines and procedures because this helps with collaboration in the classroom, either being group work or just discussing with their peers. For home and school connections. The student's family and community practices are also known as funds of knowledge, and this can influence their learning through the development of their language, student motivations, and the student engagement. Students who are bilingual may be strong in vocabulary and syntax, but with their first language, when it comes to their second language, they may have a little bit more difficulty. When recognizing the student's funds of knowledge, this can help increase that student motivation and student engagement, influencing their language and their overall learning. It's by incorporating cultural backgrounds, this can help with the students feeling respected in the classroom, and also just ensuring that as a teacher, we are doing culturally responsive teaching. We can foster that inclusive environment and just that environment through the partnerships, through students' EL support groups, encouraging school environments and in school involvements, and professional development staff, and encourage multilingual practices. Partnerships may be working with organizations or people who specialize with these foreign languages or these certain cultures. Having EL student support groups, the students who may share these common language backgrounds, it may assist them ongoing learning and their relationship development, which is supported by school status. This all starts with the involvement with the families to the schooling, creating that community and encouraging their children to be more involved with their school and their classes. This can be participating in extracurricular activities, and that's important for developing confidence and facilitating inclusion, also supported by school status. To empower these families and advocate for their students' academic success, we can do our jobs and educate these families on their own rights and make sure they need to know what they need on their own half and what they need to do and just their rights. This can even be by providing information in multiple languages to ensure that there is no language barriers, having the information clear, accessible, and actionable. We can advocate or help set up connections in order to build that community in both the classroom and the school. This is important for just having our students feel that they're safe in the classroom and having that classroom environment, connecting it with culturally responsive teaching, connecting it with the support the students need for ELs in the classroom, and the home and school connections. This is all important to create that culturally diverse classroom and that safe environment. Thank you.